Good day, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Derek. This is Cherry Blossom CBD, and we're bringing you What the Hemp-Wednesday. News in hemp and cannabis from all around the world. All right, but today, we're not going all around the world. We're just going to stay relatively local. If you don't know that we're in the DMV, that means DC, Maryland, and Virginia, and we're going to stay there. Let's talk about a Virginia couple is selling stash boxes to keep people safe from the law while they're on the road. What is it? Ron and Sarah Morton. Basically, they are a couple that started as LOCKGREEN. LOCKGREEN is a black-owned company out of Suffolk, Virginia, and they are selling lockable carry-on bags that you can carry with you in the car. Now, this is in response to Virginia changed their laws on July 1st, where they're kind of decriminalized marijuana, but you could, if you have an open container in your car, you could be subject to a class 4 misdemeanor and up to a $250 fine. No one wants that. However, some people need to have their marijuana with them. It is medicine for them, and they might need to take it on their trip. And if you do, they've offered you a great stash box, 2 different sizes, a 6.5 by 7.5, 3 inches tall, and an 8.5 by 10, which is 3.5 inches tall. They are $45 and $55 respectively, and they come with 3-digit locking mechanism and a carbon lining to absorb odors. Their mission, they say, is to educate people about the law and provide these stash boxes as a way to keep them compliant with the law and stay out of trouble. Sarah and Ron, thank you, and the state of Virginia and its residents, thank you as well. So, on to Maryland. Maryland's cannabis businesses take on exorbitant fees to have access to banking. Now, we have 3 banks in Maryland that service the entire cannabis industry across the state. The state has quite a few people. I don't know how many millions of people it has, but it has quite a few for a small state. Severn Bank, Bulldog Federal Credit Union, and the newest CFG Bank. So out of more than 80 banks in Maryland, these are the only 3. Now, just like other businesses, canna-businesses, whether it be hemp or dispensaries, what have you, they can accept credit cards, purchase products from other businesses via wire transfer, and pay their employees directly from a bank account. Service is accessible to every other business in the United States. So we're talking to the president of Bulldog Federal Credit Union, and he says these people are business owners just like anyone else. There are businesses that are all trying to serve a need in Maryland, so we want to serve them. Thank you. We use Bulldog. I won't put his name out there, but he's a great guy. So Bulldog, however, they're, I guess this is probably more for cannabis-based businesses. These fees are looking like $2,500 initially and $1,500 a month. Severn Bank is $3,000 initially to open an account, and $1,750 a month. That is quite hefty for people who are trying to, make and maintain a living. That is almost $21,000 a year in expenses just to own a bank account. For this reason, about 70% of cannabis businesses throughout the country, because Maryland's not the only state, are still operating cash, which isn't always safe. So we need to kind of do something about that. And keeping on the legislative trend, Maryland voters will likely get a chance to pass cannabis legislation via voter referendum in 2022. Now, that is wonderful. That's according to Maryland Speaker of the House Speaker, Adrienne A. Jones. She is a Democrat. And Miss Jones says she's indicated that she will support cannabis legalization referendum on the 2022 ballot, and announces to plan a cannabis work group to lay the framework for the industry if the reforms are approved by the voters. There's a group called Maryland Matters. I think she is part of that group. And Jones says the House will pass legislation early next year to put the question to the voters. She says, while I have personal concerns about encouraging marijuana use, particularly amongst the children and young adults, which is always a concern, the disparate criminal justice impact leads me to believe that the voters should have say in the future of legalization. We are looking to also talk to Senate President Bill Ferguson, said the chamber would also move forward with advancing adult use legalization, noting that cannabis is legal in D.C., it is now legal in Virginia, and the state must do the same. He didn't say the part about Virginia, I threw that in. A large majority of Marylanders in both political parties support an equitable framework that immediately addresses the injustices our current criminal justice system. That is, Senate President Ferguson said that in his report. Man, I tell you, as someone who's, I'm a Gen Xer, I've been waiting a lifetime to hear this side of news out of Maryland, Virginia, D.C. This is really, really, really positive. Not just because people can go out and buy marijuana or hemp whenever they want to, but putting people in the jail for the sake of saying, I don't know, for something that's not a threat to public health is kind of crazy, or a threat to public safety, even more so. So this is actually healing people. And in the same places that you can sit here and sell and justify alcohol and selling cigarettes to God knows who and God knows when and God knows what time, all hours of the day, 24 hours a day, and people need medicine and they can't get it and they got to go across state lines or God knows what on the dark web. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Let's get this thing together. Let's get this thing together and get this passed and get people the gag-on medicine that they freaking deserve. Thank you. That's it. That's What-The-Hemp-Wednesday. I'm off the soapbox. We'll talk to you next week. All right? If you like what I have to say, pass this on to your friends. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, comment. Talk to you on Friday. We'll be back with, was it Pinene this week? Pinene. Pinene's next week. Caryophyllene. Caryophyllene is this week. So, getting ahead of myself. We'll see you guys on Friday with some caryophyllene.